Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of the Afrobeats Podcast. Aishope Live. I'm your host, Aishope Olajide, aka Shop Studio, aka the Energy God. As always, big shout outs to everybody subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. We appreciate the support. This is where we break down the hottest topics within the Afropop culture, alongside a celebrity guest of mine in the building. As always, big shout outs to our crew on Yanga Television as well. You can catch us there on Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. and on Mondays, a repeat at 7 p.m. That's Sky 186, Freeview 274, and FreeSat 171. Before I introduce my guests, we can also go straight into some of our partners, and that is Shoobs.com, which is a leading discovery hub for Black culture experiences, bringing you the latest events, music, and news. With Shoobs, you can discover and buy tickets to the best events happening in your city to satisfy your every need. Now, if you're on the hunt for bottomless brunches, the latest Afrobeats concerts, or just a banging night out, Shoobs has got you covered. Shoobs is at the center of all experiences, whether you're an event organizer or looking to sell out your event, or looking for a perfect event to attend. And a lot of us are looking for perfect events to attend. Okay. So it's very simple. Visit Shoobs.com and get Shoobs in now. Joining me in the studio is a returnee, a commentator, a broadcaster, podcaster in the building. She's one of my favorite people in the world at the moment. The beautiful Norma. How you doing?
Hello, sir.
Of course, of Dreams and Money Podcast. We need to put that right in. You're looking amazing.
Thank you kindly. Of course, for you, I had to make sure I come through, match the drip,
That's
match the
it.
sauce, match the swag.
How's the podcast going? How's Dreams and Money Podcast going?
It's going good. The people are loving it, so I'm happy with that. As long as the people enjoy the content and they feel like they're being inspired, or they feel informed, they feel entertained. That's all that matters to me.
And in a nutshell, what is the Dreams and Money Podcast?
So on the podcast, I interview a lot of young, inspirational Black, and sometimes maybe not Black, young people who are doing absolutely amazing in their career. So whether they are journalists like yourself, whether they are commentators, social media influencers, business owners, entrepreneurs, and just people who are making social change, I interview them and kind of figure out how did they get to where they are in their journey, what impacts are they making in the world right now, and how can we be them, How can we boss up in our own lives and get the money like they're getting? And we just kind of get into it, really. So, it's an amazing podcast. Make sure you check it out.
Make sure you check it out. Now, some of the headlines that Norma and myself will be looking at today, it's been a very interesting week, will be Nigeria's Twitter ban. That has made headlines around the world.
Crazy.
Of course, the showdown we saw on Instagram with Tiwa Savage and Shay singer Kotie, saying she wanted to give away her social media account because it seems that she can't juggle that many social media accounts anymore, and real life as well. And of course, Casper Nyovest announcing a multi-million rand deal in South Africa, and lots more. Well, we're starting in Nigeria, where this past week, Nigerian Afrobeat artist and human rights activist Seyi Kuti went viral for comments he made during his regular Instagram live session. In this session tagged, "Are you mad?" The performer was addressing the media for his failure to properly give him his due credits for what he says is opening doors for Nigerian musicians, such as performing at the famous Coachella Festival as far back as 2012, of course, performing at Glastonbury back-to-back, and then being one of the 4 Nigerians to have been nominated for a Grammy in an individual category. Now, during this Instagram Live, he also talks about collaborators on a Grammy-winning project not being a Grammy winner, but only accredited a certificate of commendation. After short clips of the video went viral and blogs insinuating shots were fired at Wizkid, the singer came back on IG Live on Thursday morning to say the media was trying to create friction where none existed and doing their best to discredit him. He continued to talk about the Grammy commendation and award-winning difference in the clip. I shared some of the footages, especially the first one, where he was talking about not receiving enough credit and talking about the Grammy commendation and stuff like that. When I shared it on social media, not only had they gone for Seun Kuti, they came for me as well. You know, it looked like the Wizkid FC were out in full force trying to because they felt like that was a direct shot at Wizkid. And then he came back again in trying to clarify it, and some of them still took it as, you know, a direct shot and that he wasn't explaining himself well. First of all, what are your thoughts about this Instagram Live and what Seun Kuti was trying to convey?
I get what he was coming from. I think he feels as if credit is not being given to him and he's not being given his flowers. And I think sometimes when, you know, multiple times when we've had the conversation about, who's been nominated for a Grammy, particularly from Africa, most of the times he doesn't come up.
Yep.
So I completely understand his frustration in saying, give me my credit. Like, I've been doing this. I've been in the game, a Grammy nominated as an individual, not as a group. I can see how other fans, particularly the Wizkid fans, felt like it could have been a shot. But he's just stating facts. The facts are facts. You cannot take that away from him. Like, give the man his flowers. But, yeah.
I think, you know, this is my thoughts. I completely agree with Seun Kuti to some extent, which is the fact that, yes, he's not being given his flowers. Even me, as much as a Seun Kuti fan that I am, I can't remember the last time I mentioned the fact that I know I discussed his Grammy nomination and him scheduled to perform at the time, but I don't think I mentioned it regularly enough. That's one.
Yeah.
Number two, I don't even think I've mentioned ever that Seun Kuti actually performed at the Coachella Festival in 2012.
And you see how we don't mention that, but we will always run to talk about how Wizkid was...
or Burna Boy, because at Coachella...
Burna Boy.
Exactly, because at Coachella, it was Burna and Mr. Easy. And of course, we're super excited that some of our Afro-pop, Afrobeats artists were gracing such an incredible stage. So we go and shout from the rooftop. But we forget to mention that you know,
he's been there.
Somebody representing us and flying the flag as well has walked this walk in the past and has done this well, especially performing back-to-back at the Glastonburys. That is incredible, incredible feat that needs to be mentioned and not be snared at.
Absolutely.
These are stages that, artists around the world will do absolutely anything to get on it. And,
absolutely.
And to you know, to get on these stages as an Afrobeat artist, you know, promoting African culture and really just walking in that line. Like I said, and I've said it before, you know, I understand that there has to be a moment for humility and you know, that you don't have to blow your own trumpet. But I also believe that in life, if you do not give yourself the credit that you deserve, nobody's coming for you.
Thank you.
So you have to be your number one cheerleader.
And you have to be the one, like you said, you're blowing your own trumpet. You're saying, guys, I've done X, Y, Z. This is what I've achieved. I've been at Coachella. I've been nominated for a Grammy. I've won these awards. Whether 5-time or 10-time Grammy nominated, or I've won 7 BT awards, or whichever... Anything that you've achieved,
Sometimes
you need to speak about it from the rooftops. Shout about it and be proud of yourself. And I think sometimes we want other people to be humble just because it makes us comfortable. It makes us feel like, he's got humility. Well, yes, it's humility, but at the end of the day, what I've achieved is not me bragging. That's just the fact.
Just states in the fact.
This.
And then
he deserves it.
So now the flip side, which was the big hoo-ha, was the Grammy nomination thing.
Yeah.
When Seun was talking about Grammy commendation and certificates for collaborators on a Grammy-winning album, he was also stating facts in the sense that if you're part of a Grammy-winning album, what you get as a mixer, engineer, producer, collaborator, writer is a commendation certificate to say you have been recognized for your work on this incredible project that ultimately won a Grammy.
Yes.
For that, you get a certificate or commendation. However, for collaboration, which is a song with the likes of Beyonce and Wizkid, it's a completely different case. You brought 50% to the table. 50% of what that song was and became is your doing, is your lyrics, is your voice. So you get a plaque for that.
Yeah.
You get
Which is completely different.
Exactly. So you get an exactly the same award as the name at the top of that goes. They're going to give it to you. Yeah. All the collaborators, all the features that have won Grammys as a single, you take that credit too.
Absolutely.
So with regards to his certificates and commendation, yeah, he got that one right. But with regards to collaborations and singles, no, you don't get a certificate. You get a plaque as well because you're part of that. But again, you know, one of the most important things, I think, important lessons for a lot of us to learn is 2021. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can be humble, but you also need to sometimes be the one that says what you've done.
Absolutely.
Because nowadays, people have some of the shortest memories
and
ever.
People forget. Oh, we forget. And we're on to the next thing. Of course, we're talking about Burna Boy. We're talking about Wizkid. We're talking about everybody else. But we forget the people that have been laying down the foundation for Afrobeats to succeed nowadays. You know? So I think we do have to give accolades and give flowers where they're due. So I completely understand where he was coming from.
Absolutely. And in following with that, because I'm aware that Olamide is about to drop a brand new album.
Exciting.
However, I just took a moment, like last week. I'm like, yes, he's dropping a brand new album. Everybody's getting excited about that. But I wanted people to take a moment to appreciate the last album he released, which was just about 6-7 months ago. That had Infinity, that had Loading, that had, you know.
I was about to say, like, wasn't it just yesterday that we got one?
Exactly. So, even though we're in this culture of quickly moving on into what's next, and then maybe some fans will now come and say, oh, that album was trash or whatever, I wanted to quickly remind people that he dropped an incredible project about 8 months ago.
He did. But I feel like we're still riding the wave of that. And I feel like time hasn't gone on enough for us to be craving a new album.
No, I don't think it's about us craving a new album. I think he is in a creative space at the moment where he believes that he's got enough content to produce. You know, we had the likes of DMX and Co in the past that have released 2 albums in a year. We've seen the likes of Drake released an album, then a mixtape in a year. You know, so
so do you feel like it's a case of strike while the iron is hot and whilst you're still on fire and everyone is loving you, everyone is loving the sound. So let me give them more of what they want at the moment.
Absolutely. I believe that Olamide has found a new sound that he kind of introduced a little bit with that last album, and he's decided to even take it further with the new album that he's about to release. And I can tell you this, I have heard, you know, a couple records from that. He's got the single out anyway, but I've heard a couple other records on there, and I'm just excited for people to hear it. I think, you know, that's, you know, an example of the work rate that we all just need to get on. Listen, if you can do it, get on it.
You get on it. Yeah, I mean, also, I feel like it's the perfect time too. It's summertime. We're about to be outside.
Let's go outside.
We finna be outside. So, yeah, of course, we more than welcome new music, new sounds, and just something that's going to keep us going through summer. You know, we've been indoors for so long, so whatever we can get to get us going, get us into the parties, get us outside, we love it. Give it to us, Olamide, we're ready.
Now, speaking about being outside and staying in Nigeria, the internet exploded when a video showing Afrobeats star Tiwa Savage slamming industry colleague and singing superstar as well, Shay, for what she said was a history of attacks and wasn't gonna stand for it no more. Let's take a listen.
If God should take my child, God should take him. If I've ever said anything about you or Victoria Kamani, bitch, I'm made. I have money. I have nothing to take from you. I'm not going to be hired for a show and they'll say I should, because I'm getting.
You think that's all it is, Tiwa? If you want to start acting out,
I've never slept with your
like
man.
Abaya right now. Carry on. I'm listening.
I've
Go
never
on.
taken a job
Go
from
on.
you.
The only reason why I greeted you is to try and squash all.
You don't try and squash by saying hi. You try and squash by calling me in the corner and talking about. If I have an issue with you, I don't just say hi as if nothing. No, man. You did a whole song. You and that did a whole song. You went on interviews. You said I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. Even before, if you don't open me, your is the dirtiest in this industry. You slut. No, open me. So sink or too much. You like this, you will regret. So sink or not. Everybody knows I work hard for my look at you. You look half dead. You are half dead. You look half dead. Look at your skin. You know what? For clear skin, you need to mind your business. That's what will clear up your ugly skin. Look at you.
Well, that is the drama that unfolded this past week with Tiwa Savage and Shay. My phone exploded. My social media went crazy. I refused to share the video though, because
Why, sir? Tell us why.
First of all, I have some level of relationships with both entertainers. I'm a massive fan of the women in the industry. I think I have, as much as I could, really stressed the importance of the female singers in the Afropop culture really getting their, sitting on their throne and getting the exposure that they deserve. And I also felt that with the amount of work that we have done in trying to push that forward, me acting as a blog and sharing something that was not only, in my opinion, wasn't the best light for both women to be seen. Yeah. And second of all, I wasn't going to be a man that was going to be ihi-aha.
That's going to be kiki-keying at women's business. At
that type of clip. You know, first of all, you heard the conversation in there. You saw that clip. A little background, I believe it was. Tiwa Savage was in the salon, and I believe she had come in and probably tried to say hello to her. And Tiwa Savage got up and said, you can't say hello to me after, all the attacks.
Considering the background and everything that's happened prior.
And he got really heated. Some nasty words were said and stuff like that. What were your thoughts about it when you saw it?
I was torn with this one.
Okay.
Firstly, I was like, Tiwa, sis, I don't want to see you, being the one that's insulting somebody and being shown, I guess, in a negative light. I completely understand at some point, when so much has been thrown at you, which is what I understand is the situation. Okay. Shay had, said some things publicly, made a song, as she stated.
Doing the FU challenge.
And dissed her. So it's like, okay, now you're coming at me with this energy of trying to say hi when you've been saying all of these things in the background. Yeah. Keep the same energy, sis. You've been dissing me. Okay, now that we're in person, you want to be saying hi. No, keep the same energy that you had in your songs when you were dissing me on social media, blah, blah, blah. However, I'm like, Tiwa, you are the bigger artist. You are somebody that everybody looks up to you. Young women look up to you. We see you as like the Tiwa Savage. So I personally don't want to see you fighting. I would rather that's something that's done in private. That's a conversation that happens in private. And unfortunately, that video was obviously recorded on the down low.
It was recorded and shared, with the popular blog.
So I feel like it's one of those things where once you get to a certain celebrity status, you are on the global stage.
But that's her argument as well. Her argument was that she's been told for a long time to keep quiet. Don't say anything. Yeah. Play the bigger role. Be that respected artist. And probably that's the bottling that ultimately led to the explosion that we saw, because she had been kind of putting that away for
She'd
quite some time.
She'd been suppressing it for so long, which I completely understand. And I can imagine how frustrating that is, because everyone's always telling you, be the bigger person. And, you've got people like Norma being like, sis, we don't want to see you fighting. Yeah. But unfortunately, we wouldn't see Beyonce do that. And I'm not going to compare two people, but at the same time, when you get to a certain stage, when you get to a certain level as an artist and as a celebrity, there are certain things that you just cannot partake in, period. And it's unfortunate, but it's just part of your job, you know? So just as much as any other job, there's certain things that you cannot be seen partaking in. Therefore, in the same way that we expect that responsibility, we also don't want to see you fighting.
And then later on in the night, we heard like Shay on Pulse NG, where she was narrating the side of her story, where she threw allegations that there's a situation where she felt that Tiwa Savage allegedly had taken her song Lover Lover in the past, and that they had this back and forth, and she had all this kind of conversation or whatever. For me, again, just in the same breath that you said, for me, I think it was a disappointment in the sense that even men were commenting at me saying, what, that is needed. I saw men really cheer. Yeah. No. Listen, when it came to the men, I was more heartbroken at how some of the guys behaved.
And some of them are so excited to be in there and commenting.
I was shocked. I'm not going to lie. Maybe because I'm old. I think I'm probably old now.
Not at all.
Maybe because I'm old now. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, popular guys going, it was needed. I even saw, a popular guy that I really like. He posted something up and he's saying merch coming really soon and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow.
What? Why are you so excited to see women fighting? And why are you so involved in women's business?
And then apart from that, some of I told people that I totally agree that women can have that conversation without the public seeing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. If you want to accost anybody, you can do that without the public seeing that.
I think that
there were words that were thrown in there as well. For me, I know talking about a woman's skin, I'm yet to find a woman alive that's not sensitive about their skin.
Yeah.
I'm yet. So
and it's like,
once I saw that, I'm thinking, and then women also calling each other, Seyi and Tiwa calling each other prostitutes, whore, and whatever. I'm thinking to myself, my God.
It's not a good look.
And girls were in the comments saying, yes, keep the same energy, keep the same. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, so finally, since we've been pushing this, you don't have to be friends. And I say to people, not everybody, you don't have to be friends. But in an industry that's already against you, and that's with Seyi or with Yemi or whoever it is, I think there probably could have been better ways to go about that, because what that has done, whether we like it or not, is that the same narrative, sadly, has been brought to the fore. And this, again, the younger girls coming in the industry and all of that stuff, what they're saying is that, there ain't going to be any love here for no woman.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate thing when it comes to the music industry. It seems as if women are sometimes pitted against each other. Yes.
Oh.
But it's even more unfortunate when they fall into it and continue that narrative. So, for instance, I don't know if you remember when Nicki Minaj and Cardi B were fighting.
Yeah.
And again, of course, I'm sure that was something that was incited by the fans, by the internet, by the blogs. And it generally then became an actual
personal
beef.
Thing, where they physically attacked each other at a fashion show.
So
absolutely.
I think, back to what I was saying before, Tiwa, you are on the global stage now. You have to behave in a certain way and present yourself in a certain way. And it almost sometimes taints your image. Not necessarily in the sense of like you're going to be cancelled, but it's just that, we look to you as a role model. We don't want to be seeing you as Tiwa, the one that's fighting, Tiwa, the ratchet babe, Tiwa, the savage,
for me,
that's cussing people out. I don't think it's a good look.
I completely agree that the media has had a massive role in pitting these women against each other for over a decade. And, And I'm ashamed to admit that I'm part of the media, and I'm sure I would have done one or two things back in the past, maybe ask one or two questions that probably also heightened, you know, emotions a little bit. And then second of all, the fans as well have a massive role to play. But more importantly, and there's a running theme where the likes of Shay said that Tiwa blocks their bags. And she said in the interview that, Tiwa had asked her to be removed from an endorsement or whatever, whilst Tiwa was swearing on her son, which isn't nice, by the way. You know, she was saying, if I did anything like that, you know, God take my son or whatever. No, no.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to do that over no beef. However, the one thing that I also consistently heard was that somebody said, Tiwa tried to stop your bag. So there was a guy somewhere that said that Tiwa said, let's stop this bag. There was a man somewhere that said, Tiwa said that we shouldn't put you on the stage. There was a man somewhere that said, that's a running thing, that some guys have now found a way to, because what happens is when people don't agree, when there are people in people's ears like that, somebody's profiting for that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I can also tell you categorically and exclusively here on the Afrobeats Podcast that I have witnessed someone try to use another name in a bargaining tool with a female artist.
Wow. So in a negative way?
Yeah, I saw that. I kicked off against it.
Oh,
I don't think, I wasn't going to have that. I don't think that person even realized what they were doing when they did it, but they did it. And the consequences of that type of statement, even though it could have been a 3-word sentence or 4-word sentence.
It snowballs into something bigger.
That is it.
It snowballs into something that you had no intention.
That is it.
But now it's already out there. And
that,
it's
yo,
like
since
you've
we've
contributed
got Shay, already headlining, we're not going to be able to have another female artist on, because even Shay doesn't want another female artist on. Do you know that kind of statement? And then and then that person is thinking, what?
Yeah.
That's all they do. So people need to be fully aware of what these words are, these relationships that they're playing. And when I tell people that I'm not asking for them to get along and be best friends, but I'm asking for them to work within the industry to ensure that there's a bigger fight, at play here. We all saw what happened when David pulled Wizkid out and Wizkid pulled Davido out and whatever. That was actually one of the most exciting times for Afrobeats.
Yeah.
The ripples we caused around the world sent shivers into people's spines. When Tiwa pulled Yemi Alade on stage in Lagos, Nigeria.
And it's like, we love that. We love to see people collaborating, especially when it's our favorite artist. So when people can come together and give us a record, or whether that's just them performing side by side, we love it. So hopefully maybe one day they can put their differences aside and we can kind of put that to bed and just,
and we don't want to be seeing that.
Behave as the beautiful queens that we are.
Absolutely. I don't want to be seeing that. Well, over to Ghana, where actress and TV personality Efia Odo was trending this past week. The star, who isn't new to controversy, either for alleged relationship activism or just being blunt, was being accused by Twitter users of using a football age. So it happened that whilst on Twitter, the actress was asked by a fan what her age was, to which Efia responded saying, "I'm 21. And it instantly got backlash from the fans. Fans went to her Wikipedia page, which showed she was 28 years old, and started attacking her with claims of using her football age for whatever reason. This caught so much fire that popular blogs picked it up with strong headlines such as Efia Odo caught with using fake football age.
That is
What did you check out the article? What did you think about that?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the fact that sometimes women feel as if, particularly within the entertainment industry, that they have to stay young forever. And I think it also plays to the whole idea that when it comes to women, you only have a certain window to shine. Unless maybe if you're an actress, you've got a longer career. But in terms of music, at some point...
People always try to throw the fact that once you're, if you're 40 or if you're this, that you're done. That's BS.
It's like, you're no longer relevant or you're no longer exciting. We're now looking for the new young thing. So I think maybe that's probably playing in the back of her mind and wanting to be young forever. And it's like, which is how old? 28 is young. She's a young babe.
Let me even
Why
tell
was
you.
she I feel like she should have just been like, yes,
No.
I'm 28, I'm beautiful.
Let me tell you what my
successful.
theory is. My
Please.
theory is this.
Yes, sir.
Efia is a cheeky, intelligent, fantastic actress.
Yes.
Who, like most women, if you ask them what their age was, right off the whim, most people say, I'm 21.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cheeky response.
Yeah,
and
I was about to say that too.
However, because of Twitter, where you're texting and you don't see
you may not even
emotions,
see the video. You just see the headline.
You just saw I'm 21 instantly, and the fact that she already has people that are always going at her, they took that and was like, what? She's using football age. I completely believed that it was a cheeky response, almost like mind your own business. What my age is not your concern. It's not your concern. Why are you asking me what my age is on Twitter?
Yeah.
I believe that was the response she gave. But obviously, the blogs are thirsty for information. The fans are thirsty to chat about something. They took that and they ran away with it. When I saw the fact that they said footballing age, I'm like...
That's actually so funny. That's hilarious. The one thing about the internet is very creative and very funny. But I do think, she was probably just like, just mind your business. Why are you asking me? Even if I'm 30, even if I'm 40, why are you asking me? Even if I am 21, just mind your business.
But again, what is it where with women, how can I put it? That sometimes the age question can be triggering. A little what is it? What has the society done? What have we done as a people to make such a question a triggering,
I think it's definitely linked to what I was saying earlier about being more relevant, being more desired at a younger age. So for instance, if you are 28, 29, 30, people are looking at you like, oh, okay, oh, you're 29. And I think people use the age as a measuring stick too. So, oh, okay, oh, you're 28, okay. So now they're doing calculation in their mind. Okay, maybe at this age, when will you marry? Do you have children? Are you at least engaged? Do you have a boyfriend? So I think that's where we get triggered, because it's like, you are trying to put me in a box, so you're going to put expectations on me because of my age, whereas men don't really have that. You can be 35 and living single and living your best life. And nobody bats an eye, and no one will ask you, when will you marry? But God forbid you be 29 or 30, not being married, you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have kids. Everyone's looking at you like,
what's wrong with you?
What's happening here? What's the problem, sis? Like, do you need prayer? Do you need prayer and fasting? Should we join you in prayer on Thursday because clearly something is wrong. So I think that's the issue with the age thing when it comes to women. Like, we are not allowed to be free and single and maybe focusing on a career or doing anything else but to be married or in a relationship or having kids.
As a woman, do you think about that?
Absolutely.
So when you're getting to a certain age, you start to think like, what's going on?
Oh, wow.
Are you for real?
I think about it, but I'm also very comfortable in my age. And I'm comfortable with where I am and what I'm doing. And I'm thankful that I live in a society that also lets me know that it's okay to be, let's say, 27, 28, 29, and be single and not feel like you're forced into a relationship because, time is ticking, I need to be married. Time is ticking, I need to have kids. You absolutely do think about it. But I also know that it's more important to be much more secure than to jump into, let's say, a relationship for the sake of it. And then, God forbid, I'm now 35 and divorced. Now you're going to be looking at me.
She can't hold a man.
Exactly.
Maybe she can't cook. Maybe she's not this, that.
I mean, I don't like to cook, so they already know. She told Shopsy she don't like to cook,
bro,
so you see.
Listen, you gotta cook. Listen, this is for your own. This is for your own protection. You gotta cook.
Oh no, I do for the right people.
How many times a day?
What, for myself?
Yes, for yourself.
Yeah, maybe like once or twice a day.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Of course. What, should I be cooking 3 times a day?
Once a man comes in, you're gonna have. But the funny thing
like
is,
I said,
the new age man will probably be eating once a day.
No, he'll eat 3 times a day.
He's going to go to work. Who's at home
exactly.
eating 3 times a day?
No, but
he's a very unserious man.
No, but
any man that's at home eating 3 times a day should be fired. What's that?
No, but what I meant is, of course, you eat 3 times a day, but I'm not going to cook 3 times a day.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Just because. Freezer.
Yeah, who
put
has
it in
time?
The microwave.
Who's got time to be cooking 3 times a day, sir?
New
Also,
age woman. Come
like
on.
I said, cook me a bit of breakfast in bed, daddy. I'm joking, oh my God. See this, I'm going to get myself in trouble on this podcast if you shop see. Hey, mommy, I'm joking if you're watching.
Now, over to the UK where chart-topping rapper Russ, who recently was seen on Instagram Live, was seen on Instagram Live being arrested by the police, shared a post this past week saying, and I quote, I believe the young rapper, who obviously just had a #1 alongside his brother Tion Wayne, he shared something on social media saying, I became a millionaire during the pandemic.
Amen. We thank God.
And that went viral with industry colleagues, blogs picking it up, really celebrating and congratulating the young man for his success, especially knowing where he's coming from, the tough ends in London, and really just making it to the top of the food chain. The song is not only chart-topping here in England, he's also chart-topping around the world, Australia, I believe, New Zealand, and stuff like that. The numbers he has on Spotify is American artist numbers. It's not just, it's big numbers. What are your thoughts, Ross? Making $1 million during the pandemic. His dreams are, Dreams and Money podcast. That's what people like you should be will be looking at, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm so happy for him. And I celebrate the fact that, these young men can now use the UK hip hop or grime or what's
black music basically in the UK,
and just take it to the next level, and we can be chart topping across the globe and not just within the UK.
Yes.
So I love the fact that our culture is now being celebrated, like black UK culture is being celebrated and embraced around the world, and we are making trends. So I love that for us. 2, I love that he's a millionaire. I must say, TikTok has been amazing for him. TikTok has literally taken that song global. So I would definitely say part of the success to do with that song, Body. Is definitely to do with TikTok and how it's been and social media, and it's like a sound that you hear on loads of TikToks. Like, I'm that person that's addicted to TikTok, and you cannot go literally 15 to 20 minutes of scrolling through TikTok without hearing his song.
Wow.
So of course he's making a lot of money from there, and just of course the exposure from that. So I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. What do you think?
I think it's just fantastic. I think, the pandemic has been very, very difficult for a lot of people. Obviously, we lost so many people over the last 1.5 years. And a lot of people lost their jobs, they lost income, family members couldn't put bread on the table. But also during this most difficult time, some of the most brilliant minds and, innovative minds also found a way to maximize during the pandemic and create businesses that ultimately became, successful. We saw the likes of Amazon. Amazon instantly shot through the roof. And Jeff Bezos and whoever made amazing money through that.
Yeah.
So to now see young musicians, especially in the last 1 year, where they haven't been able to perform live, go into business, release songs. We've seen the likes of Omale and all of these guys that have just been introduced to us in the last 12 months. And now Ross saying he became a millionaire within the last 12 months just shows that even during the hardest times and the most difficult times, I think apart from working hard and and thinking of ideas of how to make money and stuff like that. I think people really need to look inward and see what else they can bring to the fore and turn into a business. And you never know
what's going to happen and what's going to blow.
I think just take off.
It also speaks to the fact that in good times and in bad times, we will always turn to music. We will always turn to the music to make us feel good. We will always turn to the music to soothe our souls, or for us to get together and dance. Even if, whether you were in lockdown by yourself or whether you were in lockdown with your whole family or your boo, you know, you always have music to bring people together, to make you feel good, to dance. And we, you know, before we started recording, we were talking about the NS10 V10.
Yes.
And how, you know, that kind of blew up. So I think that was something
that blew up during the pandemic. The Versus blew up during the pandemic.
So again, that was just an example of how music will always just bring people together, and that became a thing of like, you get together, you're on Twitter, you're listening to NS10 V10,
you see what people are saying,
and you're voting about what you like, what you don't like. And as well as, what's the other one we were talking about? The Versus as well. So talking about that and how, you know, you're now on Instagram Live, you're watching the Versus, and you're tuning in, you're dancing in your room, and, you know, so yeah, I think music definitely kind of keeps us going through the good times.
Shout outs to the young man Ross and a lot of the young brothers and sisters within the UK, black brothers and sisters specifically.
I love it for you guys.
Have become, you know, from musicians, creatives, influencers that are just getting that bag. We applaud absolutely everybody, including Trend Central, Blue Therapy. You guys deserve a round of applause for an amazing, amazing content.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of what anybody else thinks. I think you guys are geniuses.
Okay, before we move on, can I ask, what do you think of the whole debate of whether it was fake, whether it was real? Do you care whether it was fake or real?
I do not care whether Blue Therapy was fake or real, because I'll tell you this.
Yes.
Any man or woman that has been in relationships over the last 10, 15 years will tell you that the topics that were discussed, you know, would have hit them somewhere, from abortion to, you know, infidelity to lack
jealousy,
social media, lack of financing the relationship. Like, I don't care if it was fake or not. I thought the content was fantastic. I think the people did an absolute brilliant job delivering it to the audience. I thought it was entertaining. I think it was informative. It probably opened doors for more conversations, not only with friends, but also with families, relationship people as well. You know, a couple of my friends called me up, like, oh, man, you know, you need to get me Chioma's number, man. I said, why don't you shut up and just deal with the wife that you have or the girlfriend that you have already, that you haven't even sorted that relationship out. You want to go running after somebody else's girl because you thought that her man wasn't treating her well. But you got your own girlfriend that you ain't sorted that relationship yet.
Shopsy.
I was pissed off.
Hey, Shopsy came to shake the table today.
Like, oh, bro, man, you see that Chioma? I know you know her. Get me her number.
Get me Chioma's number. If you meet her, I want Chioma's number. She's a beautiful babe. Beautiful. But
I thought it was fantastic. I don't have any problems with it at all. I think they should go to season 2. Let's watch that.
Yes, please. Andy, can we have a season 2 and Trend Central? Yeah, they did an amazing job. And
amazing job.
The fact that people are debating whether it's real or fake just shows that, you know, the actors did an amazing job. The fact that we couldn't figure it out, they did an amazing job.
They did an amazing job. If it was real, they did an amazing job.
Yeah,
the bottom line is they did an amazing job.
They did.
And
they did.
As a people, why don't we just applaud that and move on?
And appreciate it for what it
That's
is.
It.
And appreciate it for what it is. And for being good content.
I know Paul did a video saying that he was acting, his first acting gig and whatever. How did you believe that video?
That he was acting?
That he released a video saying, "Oh, that was my first acting gig." He was trying to say it was like it was all an act, but nobody co-signed that. It was just him.
Do you know what? I think it's really confusing because I feel like we're getting mixed messages on whether it was real or fake. I think that people just want to know, like, was it genuinely real? Like, were you guys in a relationship? Only because people were really invested in the storylines, people were invested in what the characters were going through. I cried with Chioma. Like, sis was when she was talking about losing the baby, and I was just like, oh my God, she went through a lot. I was in tears with her.
A lot of women, the reason why that resonated is that a lot of women, young girls and guys, have been in that situation where they have made the horrible decision of having to terminate a pregnancy because they felt they weren't up to it. However, physically and emotionally, it is one of the toughest things for a woman to go through.
I can imagine.
Because not only is she emotionally going to go through that trauma, she's physically going to go through it. Mm-hmm. And most times, the guys, because, the guys might not be able to connect with that.
Yeah, of course, because it's not your body going through it, and you haven't physically connected with the being that's inside of you. So tough. I think you kind of go through it very differently.
Watching her cry there, that
so
was tough.
I was like, I can't personally relate to what she's going through, but I can imagine the pain, and I think she did an amazing job, because it's like, sis, your tears have got me. Like I'm shedding a tear with you, because it generally seems as if you're going through like a pain. So. Yeah, no, they did a good job with that. So hopefully we'll get a season 2 and
absolutely
catch up with the characters.
Staying in the UK, where rapper Young Teflon didn't agree with the statement that Drake, in quote, put UK artists on. He said, and I quote, Drake never put on no UK artists. Made them bigger, yes, but put on? Nah, that's crazy. He knows exactly what he was doing. When he features with certain artists, it goes both ways. Mm-hmm. That's how you stay relevant. We give overseas acts too much credit, end quote. Agree or disagree?
Can you just read the last line for me again? Because he
said that he knows exactly what he's doing when he features with certain artists. Mm-hmm. It goes both ways.
Right.
That's how you stay relevant. And we give overseas acts too much credit.
Okay. I partly agree with him.
Yeah.
In terms of it goes both ways.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to the Drizzy Drake, the Champagne Papi, he doesn't need the Goudem Sugar. He doesn't need anybody to stay relevant. This is the Drake. I feel like sometimes we don't give Drake enough credit, and we feel as if he's our age mate, because he's been so supportive of the UK scene, because he's been so involved and so embracive of our culture, and he's willing to collaborate. We then sometimes look at him as if he's our age mate, as if he's on the same level as the artists we have here, whether that's, let's say, Stormzy or Heady One or Giggs or Skepta. This is Drake, one of the biggest artists in the world. He's almost on the same level as Beyonce, Jay-Z in terms of global impact, in terms of the numbers, in terms of awards, in terms of recognition, in terms of impact, period.
Yeah.
So you cannot come and try and make it seem as if he needs us to stay relevant. Okay. He definitely contributes to the culture. He definitely can, take in part of what we're doing, embrace it, and blow it up and put it on a bigger stage. Yeah. Of course, absolutely. But to make it seem as if he needs us to stay relevant, I don't know about that. You're reaching.
The reason I agree with Young Teflon is that Drake is one of the most... He's probably one of the smartest musicians that we've seen in the last 10 years.
Yes, agreed.
The reason he's been relevant is because he's identified new talent earlier than most people, collaborated with them, and that way keeps his audience as young as possible, reaching into different markets.
Right.
What Young Teflon was saying here makes a lot of sense.
Oh,
and I'll
absolutely.
tell you why.
Yeah, no, but don't get me wrong. I don't disagree with him fully.
The reason Drake collaborates with the UK artists, yes, okay, because he's got a bigger platform that exposes them to more international audiences, without a doubt. That's why he said it go both ways. However, a Drake collaborating with gigs in the UK, you've got the keys to London.
Yeah.
Period.
No, it's going crazy.
And
of course.
that instantly certifies you. Drake collaborating with, coming out on stage for the Section Boys, jumping on stage in Manchester for Fredo, coming for gigs, bringing J Hus out on stage at the O2 Arena when J Hus hadn't been around for a long time.
Yeah.
As much as, the world gets to see this incredible talents that we celebrate here in the UK, guess what? The UK also falls more in love with Drake.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
we do.
he's connecting with our people.
With us.
So that's why Young Teflon says, we give overseas artists a lot more credit than they deserve. Nobody can take anything away from Drake. I'm a massive fan of Drake. I believe he's just a special talent, an incredible businessman, and a fantastic musician to know how to really reach out and touch the right people at the right time.
Yeah.
But then again, we also cannot take credit away from the impact that some of his collaborators are giving him. I believe that the first time Drake was getting hyped about the UK, should I remind you who the first artist that Drake was gassed about?
Who?
His name is Snake Bow. That was the first name.
That's been a hot minute.
Exactly.
That's been a hot minute.
I can even Google it here and I'll tell you Drake, Snake Bow. You see what year it was.
No, I think
2012. That was just 2 years after Drake, maybe 2 or 3 years after Drake became big.
But
and that was when Snake Bow was on a jet ski wave. So Drake caught that wave from afar and instantly identified with him. And came here and did all of that stuff. So from day one, he's always been riding the hot stuff. And then he had the Krypton Conan. And then he had, the Section Boys on stage. And once he's been with Fredo. And now, obviously, team up with gigs. I don't care who you are. As a Londoner, you're in love with Drake.
I think but what that tells me is that it feels authentic to me.
It's not fake.
Yeah, like he's been doing it from 2012 till 2021 now. So it's like
he
that
loves
love
the
culture
UK.
is so authentic and
he
so
loves
real.
He loves the UK.
Yeah.
He loves the music here, and he definitely embraced it a lot more than any other international artist has done. Hence why his success is here. So I completely agree with you. I don't think it's fake. I think it's 1,000% authentic. I think it's brilliant. However, Young Teflon also hits a valid point.
It does.
That it goes both ways.
No, it does go both ways. Absolutely. I think it's just that particular point has been raised a few times when it comes to Drake and people making it seem as if
like he's a vulture.
One, he's a vulture, and two, he's using everyone else to get on.
Even with Afrobeats, he ain't no vulture. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no.
Even though he's collaborated with Wizkid or Audiomack at the right time, he's done Come Closer, he's still, to me, he's still not a vulture. I believe no matter the benefits he had, he still used this platform to introduce our sound to a lot more people.
Because I think the reason why it works with Drake, it wouldn't work with other artists because it wouldn't feel as authentic.
Yeah. The work
it would just kind of feel like it's just two artists collaborating. Yeah. It's a work thing. You do one collaboration, you go on, like you move on.
Yeah.
So whereas like with him, it feels as if you're genuinely part of our culture in one way or another. You enjoy it, you're embracing it, you love it. So, you want to contribute to the culture in one way or another, whether that's putting on the artist, whether that's collaborating with them, putting them on your album, or, bringing them onto your stage when you're performing, whatever it is. Whereas if it was, let's just say, Kanye West or The Baby or I don't know, just one of these other artists, it just wouldn't feel the same. So I feel like we also have to give Drake that credit just like acknowledge it for just the love that it is as genuine.
I agree. Now over to your neck of the woods, South Africa, where a woman named Gosiame Sithole claimed to have delivered 10 children from one pregnancy. The woman is said to have delivered 7 boys and 3 daughters, setting the new world record of having the quintuplets, I believe it is. The news went viral with the lady's image during pregnancy shared across all platforms. And it has to be said that the lady also already had a set of 6-year-old twins. So it looks like the household is expanding by 10. So now they've got 12 kids. What were your thoughts when you saw I didn't even believe that it was possible to have 10 children in one pregnancy.
As they say, all things are possible through Jesus. Hallelujah.
Would it be anything that would interest you? Maybe a set of twins or triplets? You know.
Twins maybe.
Is it?
Yeah,
so
twins
you
maybe.
can have it and done. That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
Oh, just have it. There's no having and done.
No, but you know what? No, I wouldn't just want twins and that's it. I'd want maybe like twins and then one more or two more.
And that's
but
it.
Anyway, so future husband, if you're listening.
You're gonna be cooking. You're gonna be cooking for a party with 4 kids.
Absolutely.
Flipping now.
Oh, you know, I'll do what I need to do. But back to this young woman.
Yeah.
10 children is a lot. Oh my goodness. It's really the strength of God that can help this woman through this time.
Man. The cost?
Not only the cost, but I'm just thinking physically, mentally, emotionally. My God, the first few months are going to be so tough for her and her husband. So I just really hope that she has a good support system, a good community of people that will, that will help her, that will support her.
Yeah.
They say it takes a village to raise one child.
This
one is going to take a whole community to raise 12 children at this point. And I just hope that they use this opportunity. They're going very viral online.
To
just
make
hope
money.
That they use it to make money.
That's what I think.
Get some income and somehow gather some support, some community support that will just have her back for the next, even if it's just for the next year.
That's what
until she gets her bearings right.
Absolutely.
But I have a question for you, Mr.
Yes, let me hear it.
As a daddy-o,
yep.
How would you? The wife comes, she says, "Babe, I'm not even going to give you 10. She says, we're having 6 children. What's your reaction?"
Just pack my bags and leave.
Shopsy said, "I'm packing my loads and going back to the motherland."
That's going to be, that's going to be tough, man.
Do you know, because I was thinking about this.
That's so much that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I was thinking
I've got 3 kids. And, at one, I was fine. And all of a sudden,
there was 2.
And then I got the message that it's about to be 3. And when I was told that my baby was coming, I said, all right, this is the only way that I'm really going to be happy if she's a girl.
Okay. Oh, you wanted a girl?
Oh, yeah. I had my first child as a girl, so everything was easy. And then I had a boy, so I'm bouncing off the roof. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life.
Yeah.
Go to bed can mean jumping into. I'm like, what's this? So I said, I would.
You never expected it.
I wouldn't be able to survive 2 boys. So I said, listen. God,
Shopsy said, I can flatline. I cannot take it.
I said, please, give me a girl and I'll be happy. And if all 3 had come at the same time, they have headache. Even now, they sleep at different times. You're thinking about so many things, and then financially the impact.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's a lot.
Thinking about that could send any man crazy.
A
woman, Lord knows what that'll do to your body. Do you see the state of our body? Hey, Adiola, I want to ride with a geezer.
Is it me or the lifestyle, sweetheart? It's a lifestyle. I'll tell you that for free.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Staying in South Africa, as rap superstar Casper Nyovest announced his deal with shoewear brand Drip Footwear this past week, tagged the hashtag legacy deal. The rap superstar announced the deal in style with a video shared on his social media showing him stepping out in an expensive car dressed up to the official signing. Now, Drip Footwear and Family Trees have joined forces in a deal meant to go beyond the confines of just music and footwear. Unnamed products will be launched under their partnership, and they said in quote, "We are about to launch products under a new wing, the Root of Fame with Casper. This partnership goes beyond music and sneakers. It is a showcase of black excellence through power of collaboration," end quote. Now, Casper took to Twitter to let fans know about his partnership with Drip Footwear, saying he is truly grateful for sealing the deal. "The ink should be dry now. I can confidently announce the legacy deal. To God be the glory. Because this is him showing off. Truly grateful, end quote. It's been reported that the deal is worth about 100 million rands. How much is that in dollars?
Good question.
How much is a rand?
A rand is about 1 pound is about 18 rands.
18 rands.
So
that's probably about 4 million
between
pounds.
18 to 20.
So that's probably about 5 million pounds.
Yeah.
5-6 million pound footwear deal.
It's incredible.
That's amazing.
I love that for him. And I love what it represents and the future that we have.
Facts.
And I feel like, Kanye started not that he started it, but he has set a certain level when it comes to the success of brand partnerships and footwear too. Yeah, so I just feel like this is something that we need in Africa, and we need to start doing with artists in Africa. And we can't always be looking to the Americans and the British artists to set certain trends and do certain things and buy their brand partnerships and buy whatever that they're selling to us. We need to partner
with African brands
So African brands and African artists need to be coming together so that they create things that we're buying into. We can't always be looking to the West. I hate that. So I'm happy that he's doing this, and I pray that it's super successful and that people support him. And this, I feel like if this is successful, it will create opportunities for other artists and other brands to come together and create, whether that's products or whatever items they're creating, to sell to their audiences. And start creating future wealth, continuous wealth that not just ends with the artist but continues for future generations and generational wealth.
Absolutely. Shout out to Casper Nyovest. I think in South Africa it's been a better industry when it comes to brand partnerships and a lot of, especially with footwear. We saw it in the past with AKA, with Reebok. We've seen it in the past. So it looks like in South Africa the industry is kind of advanced to that level where
definitely
the local talents are really getting what they deserve when it comes to really good deals like that. Again, like you said, it's a great time for musicians and creatives who have been successful with whatever it is, whether music or film, and now starting to leverage on that popularity in partnering with brands and making more money, creating legacy deals that will send money down generations.
Absolutely.
And for me, when I saw the image, when I saw the news, it just put a smile on my face because, hey, there's going to be a younger artist in South Africa their dream is not only to become a successful rapper, but also to be in a position where they have a fantastic partnership with a brand.
Yeah.
So you're starting to expand the imaginations of young artists, up-and-coming artists.
Exactly.
Beyond what they usually know.
And setting an example of what's possible, setting an example of we can do this.
Yeah.
And, the UK and the US artists have been doing it for decades.
For a long
time.
So
I feel like we need to start doing that. So, hopefully we'll see that more and more with African artists, from the Casper Nyovest to AKA to Wizkid, Tiwa Savage, hopefully. And, we can get different things coming our way from them and see them succeed so that we don't always have to look to the UK and the American artists to sell us things.
Facts. And speaking about brands and selling us things, shout out to my brother Shop Life. I just received the package. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now that has the legendary icon Fela Kuti on the I was just at home. I received the package through the door.
I feel like you might have to stand up so they can see it properly.
Yeah, they need to see it properly. Listen,
I love it.
That's an amazing. It's Chop Life. Check him out on Instagram, online. He's got amazing merch, jackets, t-shirts, socks, scarves. He's got everything, and it's made by us for us. He's one of us. The brand is one of us, and he has supported a lot of the stuff that we've done. So go out there, you find amazing merch that you definitely can wear. Male or female.
And the jackets. I love the jackets.
The bumper jackets are ridiculous, man. So,
Mr. Shop Life, I was promised my own. I'm still waiting.
Norma says. So make sure you make that happen. Now, over to East Africa, Kenya to be exact, where singer Kotie announced that she wanted to give away a social media account so she can focus on making money. the singer posted her TikTok account, which has close to 20,000 followers, asking her fans who wanted it. And she couldn't keep up with all the social media accounts at the same time. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. Akotie is one of the most followed Kenyan celebrities on social media and has a love-hate relationship with social media due to the hate she constantly receives from some section of her followers. She has even gone as far as to share an image and name a follower who she dubbed the hater of the week, saying she was finally getting the attention she had been looking for. So why don't you enjoy your 15 minutes of fame? Social media has become the way of life. It's become a very important part of marketing, entertainment, promotion, and most creatives, entertainers have no choice whether they like it or not to be active or to employ social media managers. Akotie seems to be the one handling everything and juggling it all by herself, and it has come to a head. What were your thoughts when you saw this headline, and how would you advise to go about dealing with this?
Definitely get a social media manager. Even if it was somebody that was handling your social media part-time, because it can be a lot, especially, you know, if as an artist, celebrity, you're honestly dealing with so much. Or maybe just a PR team that can handle that for you. And I feel like, you know, TikTok is one of the biggest social media platforms, so I feel like it would be a shame to lose out on that potential audience. Only because the impact that TikTok has is so huge, and I feel like people are not really tapping into that properly.
I haven't.
And you know, like a clip can literally go from like 0 to millions of views from all across the world. You know, so I feel like that's definitely an audience that they could be tapping into. But yeah, you gotta get a social media manager, because I understand it can be a lot, from TikTok to Facebook to Instagram and trying to figure out how to maneuver your voice, what to put where,
editing,
what
it looks
time,
like the TikTok editing.
And the putting up the captions, the right time to post, what, you know, so all of these different things, and making sure you're talking to that particular audience in a particular voice, whether that's TikTok, whether that's Facebook, because of course you're going to have different audiences and voices for different platforms. So yeah, it can be a lot. So I completely understand where she's coming from, but I think a social media manager can take that burden off of her shoulders, and she can relax and focus on getting to the bag.
Simple. Akotie, that's the advice for you.
That's it.
Now, finally, to Nigeria, where this week the dominating news has been the Twitter ban issued by the government. Nigerians and the rest of the world has been critical of the Buhari-led government, who announced the suspension of Twitter's operations in Nigeria, stemming from the platform deleting the president's tweet, which the platform deemed to be inflammatory. Shortly after the infamous tweet deletion, the communications minister or special advisor to the president announced the suspension, and subsequent threats of arrests have been made to anyone who finds other means to tweet from Nigeria. VPN. Obviously, this drew huge condemnation from the international community for what they claim is an attempt to stifle free speech and control what is sent to be consumed, obviously, by the young Nigerian people. Well, first of all, that was one of the most shocking things to happen in the last 2 weeks. However, there seems to be a history in the sense that during the EndSARS movement, Twitter was one of the most influential platforms where young Nigerians spoke up against injustice and violence, called the world's attention to what was going on, and had a platform to share their thoughts towards the frustrations that they're obviously feeling. This is supposed to be a democratically elected government acting in a military rule kind of fashion. What were your thoughts when you saw this?
First, before we get serious, look, it was very childish of you, Mr. President, because I feel like it also came from a place of like pride and feeling like, how dare you delete my tweet? So because of that, not only I, but the entire country will not be using your platform anymore. which is absolutely ridiculous and childish. So that's first. Number two, I feel like it's a very dangerous, slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because you start with Twitter and you
put other social media platforms on notice, basically.
Yeah. And because next thing you know, you can no longer use Instagram. It's no longer Facebook.
Yeah.
It's no longer just normal blogs. So I feel like we have to be very careful with how we kind of handle this, but then at the same time it's like how do we because at the end of the day you cannot stifle people from freedom of speech. That's what you're doing. You're taking away people's freedom of speech.
Do they
you
care?
don't want them to.
Do they care about
absolutely they absolutely don't care. But they are trying to take it away. Essentially that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to take it away. You don't want people to complain about your government. You don't want people to express their dissatisfaction with what you're doing in the country. Number two, there are other things in the country that are happening that you should be taking care of, that are a matter of urgency and importance. Twitter and Twitter users and what small Adiola is tweeting should not be your main concern at the moment.
It's been said that Nigeria loses $250,000 every hour since Twitter went down. Not only has it been a source, not only has it been a source of income for companies and brands in Nigeria, but it's also been a source of income for young Nigerians who have only had to rely on social media to create jobs for themselves, to find a better way to survive. But now they have shut that off.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I feel like there are so many other things that the government should be taking care of and looking to take care of that are absolutely urgent and important. Let's look at the economy and what's going on with that. Can we take care of that? But you're worrying about what people are tweeting.
What about the security?
Are you for real? The security.
Kidnappers, armed robbers, unknown gunmen. People don't have jobs. A population that has a huge amount of young people that are so innovative, creative, talented, educated, but yet cannot find jobs to provide for their families. And social media, they have devised a way to use social media to earn at least a little bit. And the government, because the president isn't happy that his tweet, which was deemed inflammatory, was deleted, decided to take down the entire platform. And I think it just reminds us that even though we think we've come so far, it still shows us that we've got such a long way to go.
Absolutely. I think they felt threatened. I think the government didn't realize how powerful social media is. And I think when the NSARS movement happened and Twitter was at the forefront of making it widespread across the world and making it the #1 trending topic for days and days, they never expected it to be that impactful. They never expected for there to be
people
asking pressure.
Questions. Yes.
They never expected the pressure to come from social media because of the young people that spoke out from Nigeria, spreading it across the world and putting pressure on their necks to make a change, to end SARS, to stop police brutality. So I think that's also a reason why they are choosing to make sure that Twitter is no longer being used in the country, because they didn't realize how impactful it can be to making change. So I feel like it's a way to silence the people in the future, which is absolutely not acceptable. I mean, it's a democracy, it's not a dictatorship. So yeah, let's get it together.
Let's get it together. On that note, we end this episode of Audiomack Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, with myself, Audiomack Live, and the incredible and beautiful Norma of the Dreams and Money podcast. You know where to find us every single time. It's the same place, same time. Make sure you subscribe, comment, share, like. We appreciate every single one coming. And a big shout out to the entire team, Afro Media Studios, Willow Studios, Ayo Maurice, LM Media, and everybody working behind the scenes, man. Until the next time, it's same place and it's peace. Way out. Right.